Welcome to the Dan Sports Tips Daily Fantasy Major League Baseball show for today, the 20th of June. We are going to take a look at everything you need to have success today in your daily fantasy baseball on DraftKings. We're going to look at starting pitchers, who should be used, what strategies can we look at, stacks of the day, how can we construct a lineup to maximise our points scoring potential, foundation players, the players that should be used as the foundation on which we build a winning lineup today, and value plays at each position as well. Looking at pitchers today, it doesn't look like a day to pay down at pitcher for me. There's some good options at the top and a lot of pretty poor options down low. I mean, Madison Bumgarner's the top option for me of San Francisco. He's 12,800. It's a day where the top two priced options are facing off against each other with Strasburg and Kershaw. Bumgarner is the top option. He's against the Pittsburgh Pirates. Now, Pittsburgh are reasonable against left-handed pitchers, but Bumgarner is elite, going 8-2 with a 1.91 ERA this year. He has 107 strikeouts in 94 innings pitched. The Pirates are slightly above average, but PNC is not a bad park to be pitching in. Pittsburgh have been struggling in recent days, and against Locke, I think Bumgarner's got an excellent shot at the win today as well. So certainly I think Bumgarner has to be used, particularly for cash considerations. Stephen Wright of Boston, he's 11,200. Although the Chicago White Sox, who opposed Wright today, won against Wright earlier this year, those were heady days for the White Sox in what seems the very distant past now. They've collapsed as a team and are now way below 500, having been as high as 13 games over at one point. Wright has been ultra consistent for the Red Sox, winning 5 straight, allowing no more than 3. That was against Baltimore, who've got a lot of power in their lineup. Chicago are not scoring runs, are slightly above average for strikeouts. Wright's got 74 strikeouts in 89 and 1/3. It can be argued he was a hard luck loser in that previous game against the White Sox, as he only allowed 2 earned runs across 6 innings on that day. And Josh Tomlin of the Cleveland Indians is 9,100. Tomlin is far from elite with strikeouts. He's got 50 of them in 74 1/3, but he has been consistent this year. He doesn't walk batters. He has a sub-2 ERA over his last 3. He's 8-1 on the year with a 3.27 ERA. The strikeouts may well get a spike against the Rays, who are among the higher teams when it comes to punch-outs in baseball this year. I think those are the 3. I mean, if you want to look further down, Doug Fister is probably about as cheap as I'd go. I mean, he's terrible for strikeouts, and he gets the Angels, who don't strike out at all. Jaime Garcia can be good, and he is cheap at 5,700, but he's a better pitcher at Busch. And on the last 2 starts he's made, taking him at Wrigley against the Cubs, that's braver than I'm prepared to be. Looking at stacks of the day, Miguel Gonzalez hasn't actually given up that many home runs this year, considering he is a fly ball pitcher. He's almost a half home run per inning lower, per 9 inning lower, than he was for the last 2 years. Maybe that is an anomaly. We could well find out tonight. I mean, we know the cell's a decent part for the hitters. The wind is forecast to be blowing out, and he is going to face up against that formidable Red Sox lineup. I think it's worth stacking Mookie Betts in the outfield for 5,500. He's 295, 15 home runs, 11 stolen bases this year, and he has a home run off of Miguel Gonzalez, and obviously hits at the leadoff spot at the top of the order. Shortstop Xander Bogaerts is 5,300. He's got 9 home runs, 10 steals this year, hitting .352. And first baseman David Ortiz is 5,500. He has the platoon. He has crushed right-handed pitching all year long. He also has a home run off of Gonzalez, 342 and 18 on the year. The Houston Astros get Jhoulys Chacín, who has not been good his last couple of starts. He doesn't have the history of solid performance that makes you more inclined to forgive that either. The Astros have improved and finally do seem to be putting a run together. The West title's probably out of the question for them, but there's every chance of climbing back in the wild card race, and they're at home today. Second baseman Jose Altuve is dynamic at the top of the order in the leadoff spot. He will set you back 5,200, but he's a 342 hitter, 10 home runs and 18 swipes this year. Offers you complete production. Colby Rasmus in the outfield's 3,900. He has a home run off of Chacín, hits from the right side of the platoon, 226, 9 homers. Outfielder Carlos Gomez is also 3,900. He has a home run off of Chacín as well. He's only hitting for 210 on the average. 3 home runs and 8 steals. And third baseman Luis Valbuena for 3,600. He hits from the right side of the platoon. He hit a home run yesterday. He's hitting 244 and 8 homers on the year. And the final stack I'm looking at today is the Cleveland Indians. They get to face Drew Smyly of the Rays today. Now, last time out was much better for Drew Smyly, but he has been developing something of a home run habit in recent starts, and it's hard to look past the 8 ERA in the 3 starts prior to his last good one. He's allowed home runs in 5 consecutive starts, 8 in total over those 5 starts. You can run on the Rays, giving you added value for stolen bases as well. And conditions, if this game is unaffected by weather, do look very good for the hitters today. Catcher Yan Gomes for 2,600. He has 2 home runs off of Drew Smyly and 7 on the year. First baseman Mike Napoli's 4,600 is another Indian with a home run off of Smyly. He's hitting 231 with 15 homers on the right side of the platoon in the matchup. Outfielder Rajai Davis is 4,400. He also has a home run off of Drew Smyly. He's a 263 hitter with 7 home runs, and he adds the upside with 20 swipes on the year. Shortstop Francisco Lindor will hit up the top of the order. He's 4,600. The switch hitter is hitting 308 this year. He has 7 home runs, and he has an upside with stolen bases because he's got 11 on the year as well. And Jose Ramirez for 3,800 qualifies at third or in the outfield. Also a switch hitter, 294 with 3 homers, and he's got 7 stolen bases this year as well. I think that's a really solid stack as well. For my foundation players today, at first base, at the end of the day, it's a standard play. It's a fly ball pitcher, right-handed, in a hitter's yard. It's going to be David Ortiz of Boston for 5,500. Ortiz is hitting 342 with 18 home runs this year. He's got one off of Miguel Gonzalez, and he hits right-handed pitching as well as anyone in the game. My second baseman will be Robinson Cano of the Seattle Mariners for 5,300. On the road, away from the safe, Cano is a safer pick as they come against a right-handed pitcher. Pelfrey seems to have righted his home run issues from earlier in the year because he hasn't allowed one in a while, but Robinson Cano does hit right-handed pitching really well. He's hitting 301 with 19 home runs this year. My third baseman is Nolan Arenado of the Colorado Rockies. Usually you only see a Rockies player in here at altitude at calls, but against Paul Clemens, whose ERA was an unattractive 4.30 in AAA, I would expect Arenado, who is basically platoon proof, to have a shot at a decent day in Miami, and we know that he can hit the ball out of any park. At shortstop, I will take Carlos Correa of the Astros for 4,200. He's 254, 9 homers and 8 steals. Kind of, he's got the in and out of, he's got the out of sorts Julius Shaquin. The pressure is off him a little bit now. Obviously the team had the terrible start to the year. His teammates have picked up the slack somewhat, and all the talk of him being a potential MVP has died down. I think Correa can get his head back in the game, and start swinging a bit more consistently, and maybe put some better numbers up in the second half of this year. Let's jump on the train before it leaves the station. And in the outfield, I'll take Marcell Ozuna of the Miami Marlins for 4,800. He has a home run off of Jorge De La Rosa in opposition today. He's hitting 319 with 13 home runs on the year, and he's a very good hitter against left-handed pitching from the right side of the platoon. My value plays today at catcher, I will take Miguel Montero of the Chicago Cubs for 3,500. He has a home run off of Jaime Garcia. He's hit 3 home runs this year. He hits from the right side of the platoon in this matchup. Doesn't really hit for average at 202, but it's a nice yard and decent looking conditions in Chicago today. My first baseman is Victor Martinez of the Detroit Tigers for 3,800. The switch hitter is better against right-handed pitching. He's a 325 hitter with 12 home runs this year. Nathan Carnes of Seattle has been struggling with a 6.75 ERA over his last 3 starts. My second baseman is Jonathan Scope of the Baltimore Orioles for 3,400. Derek Holland has strung a couple of poor outings together back to back, allowing 9 earned runs over those 2 starts. Scope has the platoon in a nice park. He's a 278 hitter with 12 home runs this year. He has hit a home run each of the last 2 games, and he is a streaky hitter who does tend to hit for power in bunches. He's got more than 1 multi-home run game this year. At third base, I'll take a punt on Todd Frazier of the Chicago White Sox. Only 3,200 today. Yes, he is struggling. Yes, he's facing one of the more consistent pitchers so far this year in Stephen Wright. But even though he's struggled this year, Frazier still has 19 home runs, and all slumps come to an end. Well, most slumps come to an end. I don't see Frazier slumping out of the majors. It's a nice yard with a decent forecast. If he busts out tonight for 3,200, you've got yourself some huge value. My shortstop will be Aledmys Diaz of the St. Louis Cardinals for 3,100. I'm happy to take on John Lackey. particularly at Wrigley Field. He isn't elite as well as he has been pitching with the numbers he's been putting up, and Diaz has produced against pitchers regardless of the platoon with a 299 average and 8 long balls this year. In the outfield, I will take Carlos Gonzalez of the Colorado Rockies. He's only 3,800 today. He hits from the right side of the platoon against the uninspiring Paul Clemens. 313, 15 home runs this year. That's what I have for you today. Best of luck with your lineups, and I will see you tomorrow. Play ball. Thanks for watching the show. Don't forget to like the video. Hit me up in the comments with the daily fantasy plays you like today and press that subscribe button. Follow me on Facebook and Twitter. I will be here all MLB season and through the NFL season with daily fantasy sports advice. If you haven't signed up yet, or you're interested in starting to play daily fantasy sports, please click the link in the description for this video and that'll take you where you need to go to start playing with DraftKings today. Best of luck with your lineups and have a great day.